Hello and welcome to this screencast on flexibility. So what we've looked at so far is types of flexibility, factors that affect our flexibility and methods of evaluating flexibility. Today we're going to be focusing on training used to develop our flexibility. So if we move on straight to the guidelines used for flexibility training and then the different types of training, they're all very similar. So our kind of go-to first of all is frequency has to be 3 times a week and between 6 to 10 stretches. That will change slightly regarding the different types of training we're actually doing. So intensity is just beyond the point of resistance. Time will be 10 to 30 seconds, and then the type, we've got different types. We've got static, and we've got both active and passive static training. We've got isometric training, dynamic, ballistic, as well as PNF. Now PNF is short for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. We only need to know it's PNF, so don't get too caught up on that name. Okay, so first of all, if we start with static active and static passive, remember static active is when the athlete takes joint just beyond the point of resistance, and static passive is when the partner takes joint just beyond the point of resistance. So we can use static active and static passive to actually train and improve our flexibility. So how we'll do that is our frequency would be 3 to 6 joints, 3 to 6 repetitions. Our intensity would be just beyond the point of resistance. The time would be between 10 and 30 seconds with holding the stretch for, and then the type changes. So the type for an active static would be the athlete holding leg extension stretch, and for passive it would be the partner holding a leg extension stretch for the person now stretching. Okay, and we have got advantages for both of these. They're both a safe form of stretching. Okay, however, the disadvantage is both of them can reduce explosive strength during performance. So that is why very rarely you're asked to do static stretching before a game, for example, because it could reduce your explosive strength. So that is static active and static passive. I want corner notes on these. I want decent questions. You can have 5, 6 questions on these. So please get those done. Move on to isometric. Okay, so isometric is a training type for improving flexibility. Isometric, this is when a static passive stretch just beyond the point of resistance is performed with an isometric contraction. So static passive, there's going to be a partner involved and you take the stretch and then there's an isometric contraction taking place. Okay, so frequency, 3 to 6 joints, 3 to 6 repetitions. Intensity, just beyond point of resistance. Time, you're holding it for 10 to 30 seconds. And type, an example would be holding a leg extension stretch, or your partner holding a leg extension stretch for you. Advantages for this is it inhibits the stretch reflex, which we know helps improve our explosive strength. And also it can cause, or not also, sorry, a disadvantage would be that it can cause injury to the connective tissue. It's really important that you do highlight that it's injury to the connective tissue there. So dynamic and ballistic we're going to do together because the frequency, intensity, time and type, the fit principles are the same. So dynamic, we have got taking a joint to full range of movement without using momentum. Okay, so this is controlled. Now, your memory method for this would be ROM, no MOM. Okay, range of movement, no momentum. Ballistic is taking a joint to full range of movement whilst using momentum. So the memory method would be range of movement, momentum, ROM, MOM. Now, our frequency for both of these is 6 to 10 reps. Our intensity is just beyond point of resistance. Our time is between 10 and 30 seconds. Our type is slightly different, sorry. So our type for dynamic would be heel flicks. So heel flicks are moving without actually using momentum, ROM, no MOM. And a type for ballistic would be leg or arm swings. So leg swings, we're using momentum to take the joint into its full range of movement. Now, the advantages for dynamic is controlled. Okay, so it's controlled, therefore it's less risk of injury to the connective tissue. A disadvantage to ballistic is the fact that it's not controlled, therefore there's higher risk of injury to the connective tissue. So please get those notes down. Finally, PNF stretching. PNF stretching is a passive form of stretching, so you are going to have a partner involved. So first of all, how do we do it? We've got 3 stages. The first stage, partner moves joint into a static stretch, just past the point of resistance. Then the person who's being stretched performs an isometric contraction and holds that isometric contraction for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, they relax for 10 seconds. Then the partner moves the joint further past the point of resistance and holds it for 10 seconds. And then an isometric contraction is held for 10 seconds, relax for 10 seconds, pushes it further. We do this 3 times. Okay, so that is PNF stretching. That is all of your stretching types, or flexibility types, I should say. So make sure you have good notes on those. Thank you for listening.